thought I would just sit on my sofa and talk. Maybe that's a good idea too. Hello. I guess that's working. Hello everyone. So it's almost the end of 2025, so I thought I should make a video. I couldn't shoot a video of like a reflection of my 2025, but I thought, you know what? I have a beautiful sofa. I can sit on it and talk about it while I eat my breakfast. So my breakfast is some yogurt, banana, a chocolate, and some. I had not Nutella, peanut butter. I could put that too, but it's okay. Sometimes, like when there's a little yogurt left in the bottle, I'll just put my stuff into it and I eat it, and I like that. So the chocolate is so good. This year was a good year. No complaints. A very beautiful year. Today's cold, and I love my home, so I thought I would just stay home. Although I have some holidays before I start a new job and my new semester, my research. So I'm just taking some days off, and I decided to make some videos on the days when I'm relaxed. I'm relaxing. I need to adjust my mic in a way that is comfortable, and I don't know if there's a way I can just put it down and talk peacefully. It looks like no, I have to hold it all the time. So, to be honest, I don't know where to start in terms of how this year was. There was so much that happened. So much. A lot of good things, I would say. Okay, I need to find the best angle where I don't have to change much and I can just sit and talk while I eat as well. But that can wait for a while, I guess. So, to be honest, when I look back, I don't know where to start. But what I know is like there's so much that happened that I'm grateful for. This year was filled with struggles, happinesses, making new friends, best moments, joy, gratitude, self-love, choosing myself. This year taught me more than I think, more than the past whole life that I had lived. It was very challenging. 2024 September, I moved to Canada. I do remember I landed in Vancouver in 1 September. It was cold, it was unfamiliar, but it was exciting. It was me achieving my dream. It was me living a dream. Usually when people ask me, I tell them, you know what, I couldn't believe it's true until I landed in Vancouver. And the flight attendant who speak in the mic, they told us, oh, we're gonna land in Vancouver in like 15-20 minutes. That was it. And then I was like, I really would tell myself, like, although I knew it's not a dream, but I would really tell myself this really feels like a dream. Then I started going to school, life got real, studies, research, new people, the first couple of months were very hard in terms of getting used to this new lifestyle, like this new way of living, the huge responsibility I had on myself for myself. Like, you know what? You've packed your life in 23 kg bag and you're here in a total different country. You don't know anyone and you have to figure this life out. And it's you who's responsible for you. For all the good that happens, for all the bad that comes your way. It's you who's going to be responsible for that. And all the choices you make, all the decisions you make, it's just you and your decisions and your choices now. No one else anymore. Not your parents, not your siblings. So it didn't feel too much in the very beginning, but there was a time in 2025 when I sat back and I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I'm on my own. Like, if I choose the best ways to go about life here, or I choose the worst ways, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about it. So I have to get my shit together. I have to choose the right ways. I have to make sure that I'm healthy, that I'm safe, I'm happy, I'm financially stable, I'm looking after myself, I'm kind to myself. These all things, like, nobody taught us. Along the way, we had to learn ourselves. Especially if you moved away from home in a very young age, you grow faster. That's what I experienced. And there was a moment in 2025 when I called my parents and I'm looking at the screen and I'm looking at my dad. I see his hair is growing gray faster and faster. I see my mom becoming skinnier every other time we get on a call. And then there was this one time which made me feel like nothing is worth it. So, oh my God, this is a little bit emotional for me. This is a story of me and my dad. I'm talking to my mom. My dad is like on the roof, I guess. He is just, in the evenings, my dad likes to go on the roof and spend some time there, like breathing for fresh air in, and he's a very healthy person, so he does that all the time. And I would do that as well when I was back home. So he comes down running to the call and he's like, Moniz, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, Dad, go ahead. And he just looks at the screen and looks at me and he goes, I forgot. I guess that was like the hardest moment for me. He couldn't remember what he was going to tell me. And I just kept there waiting. And he kept trying. And then I just got used to it. Every now and then my dad would tell me I'm forgetting things. And I just got used to it. And there was a time when I sat with these feelings and I talked to myself. I'm like, was this all worth it? That I had to leave home and I was just 12. And I kept going far away. I do remember I went to Hunza for my college, which was around 5 hours drive from home. Then I went to Central Asia, which was around 2 hours flight from Islamabad. Then I came to Canada, which is around like a 24-hour flight from Islamabad. And I realized I've only kept going far and far. That's because of my dreams. That's what my parents want for me too. So the biggest realization that I had this year was like, I have to be okay with these changes. I have to see these changes. I have to be there for my parents in any way possible. But I can't be like, I can't sit there and cry about these changes. So this is life that I realized. Your parents will grow older in front of your eyes. And for so many people and girls like me who live away from home, you will see your parents grow older on a screen. Like at this point, I've lived away from my home more than I've lived with my parents. And there were times when my dad had to go away because of his job. And if I really calculate the amount of time that I have spent with my dad, on average, I don't think it's gonna be more than 8 or 9 years. And I'm gonna turn 24 very soon. So I realized this is life. Either you accept and you choose to see the beautiful that happens in life, or you choose to stick to the negative that makes you suffer, that doesn't allow you to go further. Yeah, anyways, that was one experience. Well, when I say one experience, that was an experience that I felt throughout the year. It would come back again and again. There would be times I would talk to people about it. There would be times I would write about it. There would be times I would talk to my siblings about it. It's like it happened every now and then. Even within a time frame of a week, I would feel these feelings like 2 or 3 times a week. But with time, I got better. With time, I saw more of the realistic thing, the right way to go about this. And I guess over time, it got better. Besides that, I struggled in school. I was taking hard courses. And there was so much happening in my life that kind of made me feel like it's taking away so much from me. That the only way for me to move forward, to do the right thing is, distant myself from certain people, including maybe my family or my siblings. I do have these feelings sometimes. Oh my God. I just saw something in my frame and I'm like, okay. So, I also realized the coping mechanism that I have when people become toxic, or when they become someone who just takes away from your life. They don't bring anything on the table. They're the people who are there to just consume your energy. I realized the only coping mechanism that I had was to distance myself, to disconnect from them, to make sure that they don't have a space in my life. And I realized maybe that's not the best way. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better way of communication. Maybe there's a better way of telling people that they're just taking away, so much from you, and then leaving you wondering that why you have less energy when you talk to them or you're with them. So I realized about the patterns that I have, either in any kind of relationship or my attachment styles. Emotionally, I felt so many things this year. Yeah. Anyways, so besides that, I started my research. I guess I should pull my camera a little bit this way so it's even. Yeah. I started my research around summer last year, and I had to read so much to decide on the topic that I want to work on. Because my supervisor comes from a different background, which is compilers, SIMD, single structure multiple data. It's a lot about like efficiently doing text processing. And then I'm more into machine learning, data science. So I told him, hey, you know what? I really want to work with you, but we need to figure out a topic that works best for both of us. Then I do remember, like talking to people about the problems you're having is the best way to find the best solution. Because when I was confused, I went to, I guess, 3, 4 professors at SFU, and I told them, hey, you know what? This is the background of my supervisor. This is my background. What do you think is the best topic for us, which we can work on together, where we can use my skills, where I'm more confident in machine learning skills, data science skills, and then my supervisor is more into compilers, parallel processing of data, SIMD stuff. So my machine learning professor told me that, you know what, tokenization could be a very good topic for you because it's a lot about text processing. And then I came back home, I talked to my supervisor, and I started my research. And I have read more than 40 papers, that's what I remember, about NLP text processing to figure out what is the specific thing that I want to work on for my research. And we ended up choosing a very general topic, which is like text processing for LLM. So whenever people would ask me, I would say, oh, I'm working in the domain of NLP, more specifically text processing for LLMs. But I think my topic is changing along the way. So what we're doing is we're using a framework that my supervisor works with, which is Parabix. It's very efficient for text processing. It's like a parallel text processing framework where you can do tasks very much efficiently compared to any typical way of text processing, I would say. So if you're working on it, I won't say we're halfway through it. For the past 6 months, I've been working on it. We're in the process of coding tokenizers. Technically, we are working on pre-tokenizers right now. If you know a little bit of computer science, these things that I'm saying would make sense to you. If you don't know, you can skip this part. So yeah, we're on 2 ideas, which is like re-implementing byte-pair encoder and doing tokenization way more efficiently than what byte-pair encoder does. That's one way, that's one topic or one domain we're working on. And then the other, just making a toolkit for tokenization for different tokenizers. And since we're using Parabix, which means the tasks, the tokenization would be maybe 10% more efficient than the typical tokenization. So we're kind of re-implementing Parabix-based tokenizers. And we're sure about the fact that they'll be more efficient. So that's where I am with my research. So at the moment, we're coding pre-tokenizers using C++, which is not my best language, but it's fun. It's fun. And I realized with the enhancement in AI, it has become so much easier to understand things, to understand a code, to generate a code. So there's no one day I don't use AI agents to help me figure things out, AI agents to help me understand code or generate code. So that's a good part, I would say. Besides that, yeah, I'm quite happy about my topic, and I'm looking forward to work on it for the next 1 year. I recently finished my first year at SFU as a master's research student in computer science, and I'm looking forward to the next year. And the other part of my life is, I would say it has always been improving myself. It has always been how to make sure I'm becoming better every single day. I've been reading tons of books. I guess this year I struggled so much emotionally. So I've been reading books related to attachment styles, related to relationships, related to loving yourself. Of course, I always read like self-help books, but this year I've been consistently reading them to make sure that I'm in the right mental state, that I'm processing my emotions in the right way. There was a time in this year where I was so stuck. Emotionally, I was like hitting rock bottoms. I was like, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know whom to go. I didn't know where to start working on myself. And I would say the best thing I did was just be patient. Every day I would wake up, I would have I would have this heavy feeling on my chest. I would feel so heavy. And I would pray to God. I would tell him, I know this is not forever. I know I'm going through a process. I know there's an end to this. And I'm going to get there. And I'm going to put in the right amount of efforts to be where I need to be. I would meditate. I started meditating this year. I started having a very specific routine in the morning. I wake up around 5:30. I pray for 30 minutes. I do my meditation right after, usually which is like 20 to 30 minutes. But sometimes it goes up to an hour because I just struggle focusing. I realized that I struggle in a way that's so hard to not think. So for me to meditate means just bringing myself back again and again. If there's a thought, if there's an emotion that's making me worried or that's consuming me, the meditation for me, for the big amount of time this whole year, was just bringing myself back and telling myself again and again that stop thinking, let's be present, let's breathe. So that was a practice of meditation, I realized. And then I would read my book in the mornings. There are days when I wake up late. I realize these days I'm struggling with this. I think it's because of the weather too. Canada gets dark around 4 p.m. in winters. And even if it's 8 a.m. in the morning, it's still dark. So I'm struggling. I'm literally sleeping 8 to 9 hours these days, which is not my usual. But I understand that it might be just because of the weather. It might be just because it's still dark and my body thinks it's dark, sleep in more. My alarm still goes off at 5:30. I get up, I stop it, and sometimes, I have this practice that when I wake up, I turn off the alarm and I sit there. I think about how I'm feeling. I think about how grateful I am for everything. And I breathe. And I practice gratitude again and again, again and again. And then accidentally, sometimes I fall asleep. But mostly I wake up and I do my day. Besides that, there's one more thing that I started not long ago. which is the 5 minute journal. I think this is the best thing that happened to me this year, which is like I write the journal in the morning and I write about 3 things I'm grateful for, and then about 3 things that would make my day beautiful, and then 1 affirmation. I do it every day. And then before bed, I write about my day. I write about what I learned that day. And that's it. It does not take more than like 5 minutes. 3 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening. And this is the most beautiful thing that has happened to me. And my Kindle. I guess this year I spent most of my time with my Kindle. Since I don't drive here in Canada, so I have to transit all the time. And sometimes transit takes like hours. If I go to downtown, there's no way I don't take my Kindle with me. And on my transit, I read my Kindle. I read a lot of books this year. A lot of books about business. I learned about investing. I'm a little slow on that still. I need to start investing, I know. But I've learned enough about it that I do think I'm at a place where I can start and I'll be okay. I'll keep learning. Yeah. Besides that, one big win for me was going to Dubai, which I have already posted 2 videos, I guess, about Dubai, where I represented Pakistan in film festival. My brother came from Pakistan. Those days I was still going through emotionally confusing stage in my life, but that was a blessing for me to go to Dubai, to meet different people, to see my brother. You know, I always, about my family and siblings, I always feel like I feel a certain level of responsibility with them, and with my younger brother especially. Growing up, I felt like my older siblings were not there for me like I would have loved for them to be there for me. And then I felt responsible for my younger brother. I'm like, if you felt that way, don't you think your younger brother is going to feel that way towards you? So I tried to be there, and there wouldn't be a day when I wouldn't think about him, and I would pray to God that please be there for him, guide him in the right way. And I would just be worried about him. I know it's not the best way to go about like being worried about people that way, but I would still do it. And then I met him in Dubai, and I was so grateful because he has grown up to become a beautiful gentleman. He's very mature. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to talk to people. He's just 16 or 17, and he knows how to talk to people. You show him a person, you tell him go, like, be friends with him. He would just go up to them. He has a beautiful way of talking, and he'll be friend with anyone he wants. I wanted him to this level. I wanted him to have like this level of confidence, because I grew up in a way that I didn't have the confidence. I had to teach myself, and it took so much time. But I'm grateful. Today, I can really be confident about what I want, what I need, whom to talk to, how to talk to them. And I wanted the same for my brother. And when I saw him that he's already there, when I realized that I don't have to do anything about it, I was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing in this, like, that I've experienced. And one of like a very good people I met this year, he tells me that, Munisa, you don't have to be worried about everyone around you. God is there for everybody. That's his job. God is there for everybody. God is taking care of everyone else. You don't have to feel responsible. You can be. You have to be responsible for yourself, but you don't have to be responsible for your siblings, for your parents. I think only this year I understood that I don't have to be worried about the people around me, about my family, about my siblings, about my parents. God is looking after them. And all I have to do is be responsible for myself, for my actions, for my studies, for my health, for my happiness. Yeah, that was an achievement. Like when I look back, there was so much I want to talk about. Like the emotional thing only that I faced this year that brought me so much wisdom. I met people, amazing people, loving people, and I had to let go of some amazing people as well. And that was needed to happen, that was meant to happen. There were times where I felt like some people, I felt like them being in my life was only gonna break me down. And then distancing myself, protecting myself became really hard. I don't know if, yeah, I guess like I know that a lot of people would relate to this. When you really care about someone, but you know that for you to grow up in the right direction, for you to do better in your life and be happier, you have to let go of some people. Because that's the hardest thing I did this year. I had to let go of certain people in my life. And I have done that in the past too. I had done that in the past. Sometimes you have to let go of your parents, you have to let go of your siblings. And I guess I did all of that this year. I had to let go of people I was emotionally attached to. There were times I had to let go of my parents. There were times I had to let go of my siblings. There were times I had to let go of my friends. And that's all the process that makes us better, that teaches us the best lessons in our lives, I realized. I have become only stronger. I've become only beautiful, I would say. This year, like if I put a ratio on this year, the ratio that would be 80 to 20%. 80% were struggles, 20% were easy, chill, happy. When I say struggle, it does not mean suffering or sadness. Struggles mean being in a situation where you don't know what to do, being in a situation where you don't know how to talk, how to stand up for yourself, how to choose yourself, those things, which only made me stronger. And I can't be more grateful. Yeah, so this year was very beautiful in so many ways. Although I talked about just certain aspects of my life, about my relationship to my family, my research, about the emotionally nerve-wracking things that I faced in terms of making decisions, choosing myself. But I guess I'm doing well. I never feel like I'm doing enough, but that does not mean like I'm not doing well. Yeah, I know I'm doing well. I'm doing the best I can to be where I am today. Even today was a really hard day, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this video reflecting on my past, and I have so many plans for 2026. I can't be more excited. And one thing I realized was like, so I had this potluck with my friends who came over, and one thing that I said, which everybody kind of liked, and you're like, oh my god, you're so positive, was that my every year was better than the past. Every year was better than the past. So I see vividly that I only get better. I only get more mature. I only earn more money. I only move forward. There are times where I feel like, oh, I'm taking steps backward, but I realize that that's only temporarily. That in the long run, I'm only gonna move forward and I'm only gonna be successful. And I've been quite conscious about my health lately, because I feel like being vegetarian is affecting my health in a way that I don't want it to affect me, because I don't take any extra supplements for like lots of vitamins or protein powder and stuff like that. So I've been I've been sick as well this year. There were times where I felt like, oh my god, I'm not going to survive this sickness. And how am I going to call my parents? What are they going to do about it? There have been these days too. So there was this day when I was very sick. And I'm at home, my roommate is not here. And I went to toilet. I remember going to toilet. But I don't remember what happened after that. And after, I don't know how long was it. Okay, sorry. I don't know how long was it. I remember moving my body and I was in toilet on the floor. I remember like a little bit of details of like being unable to breathe. My body was so sweaty. I had no energy. I was really on the floor for I don't know how long. And I moved myself a little bit. And I tried to put some water on my face. Then I moved a little and I came to my room and I slept. I closed my eyes. I was still in pain. And I told myself, this is it. It's just you and your struggle and your pain. It's just you and your choices. Nobody matters. Not even your parents when you're sick. Like, not even your siblings. When you're sick, the only thing you care about is getting better. That's it. And we as a human, we care so much about other small things which don't matter a lot. For example, school, missing a class, or getting into an argument with someone, or not having enough money. Like, a lot of things which don't matter a lot. If you have a good health, you will always achieve them. So that day I closed my eyes. I was like, if I can survive this night, I can do anything. I can do anything. I remember not being able to help myself to get some water. I was thirsty, like so bad. My throat was like dry. And I was breathing to keep myself a little, okay. And then I was like, if I can survive this night, Manisa, you can do anything. Yeah, and I realized that's a good reminder for me that every now and then when I'm so tired, when I focus so much on my research and I don't give myself time to rest and relax, I think of that day. I'm like, you know what? You don't have to wait till you hit rock bottom to take a rest. You need to do that every single day, every single week, for yourself and your body, and your mind and your emotions, everything. For me, probably a lot of people can relate to it if you live far away from home. If you don't care of your health, it's your loss. So I watched this video on Instagram where this guy is like, yeah, you can say I can die for my parents, but can you take care of yourself for your parents? Can you love yourself for your parents? Can you work hard for yourself, for your parents? Can you be there for you when you need someone, when you need something for your parents? That hit me hard. And that was so true. That we are far from home and we are responsible for what happens to us, for how we grow ourselves, for how successful we become, for the kind of friends we make here, for the kind of people we choose to spend our time here. So everything is now just you and your choices. As scary as is that, but it's beautiful too. You have the freedom to choose what you want to do. You have the freedom to be yourself. And you can use that freedom to be the best version of yourself. It's just a matter of choice, I would say. So yeah, that's gonna be a long video, but I did want to talk about it and reflect on this year, which was very beautiful. This year was a successful year in so many ways. I've achieved so much. Sometimes I think to myself, this year was more than what I expected. I moved into this house in this year, and I love my house. I love my house. This house means so much to me. It's a space which brings quietness, peace into my life. I feel like myself. And this home, I call it home. So yeah, I hope everybody had a very fantastic year, and I hope everybody's very excited for the year to come. 2026 is gonna be our year. We're gonna do the hard things. We're not going slow. We're not giving up on anything that we have dreamt of. We're working hard. We're taking care of our health. We are taking care of our finances for sure. We are becoming more responsible, more mature. We're going to more networking events. We're going to get the job. We're going to be successful. That's what I'm going to manifest in the next year. That's actually what I'm going to work for as well. But I feel it already. I feel it. So much is coming my way. I have to be ready to take it all in, be grateful, and keep going. So thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope this video makes you excited for the next year. Happy New Year. Thank you and goodbye.